Simo piercing right through 3 godly summons, Loki's shield summon, and the god himself is absolutely wild and would lead many outsiders to think the fight is already over. However, many of us are betting on this being Loki cloning himself, and we just got official confirmation that Loki may have just outplayed the White Death here. The Record of Ragnarok chapter 103 preview has dropped and pretty much spoils the true result of this moment. All of this will be fully explained in today's video, alongside the translations for Simo's entire flashback being out as well, providing some very important information I need to make clear for the future of round 11. For example, we see Simo count as in a world of extreme cold reaching -40, he loaded his rifle with bullets, peered through his iron sight and pulled the trigger. With each shot an enemy soldier fell, and absolutely 100% accuracy. Simo's first attack, where he counted 1 against Loki, is what we originally saw, and now he counts 2. Time to lock in, boys, and listen closely throughout today's video. Alright, so the preview for chapter 103 is as follows. In a shocking twist, audiences are left reeling. The past of Loki, the most deceitful god in the heavens, is revealed. This is the snippet from the magazine, or an alternative translation, pretty much meaning the same thing. Therefore, Loki, 99% chance, has indeed survived this attack. We don't know whether it is in fact a clone. I had some people mention in some of my previous videos that Loki isn't wearing his ring. If you look at the initial panels here, such as him summoning his door, it seems as though that is the case, but when looking closely at the panel where he was actually hit by the bullet with the blood splattering behind his head, you look closely at his hand, that seems like the ring, his divine weapon, is indeed there, at least to me, but of course I could be seeing shit. But again, Loki cloning himself, including the ring, is a possibility as well. Or maybe there's another ability Loki wields that hasn't been revealed thus far that has allowed the Norse god to survive this. Something that in regards to Simo is insanely overpowered. The sacrificing aspect of his organs to unleash these attacks is a major downside for him, but so far they have not missed and have not disappointed in any regard. With this second one featuring the narration claim, there is nothing that cannot be pierced by the bullet that even pierces the heavens. Absolutely wild attack potency from the White Death so far in Record of Ragnarok, but since we're getting Loki's flashback revealed in the next chapter, that has the potential to be one of the most interesting ones we've gotten throughout all of Record of Ragnarok so far. This is because Loki is still a wildly mysterious character in the series. Someone connecting to a lot of characters. We have Odin and the whole stuff going on with him that still requires many more reveals, and whether or not Loki is aware of that would be pretty interesting. How he came to learn about Siegfried, and of course the most important aspect for Loki's narrative going into this fight, him being in love with Brunhilde, where his flashback may potentially reveal how that came to be as well. Alongside the recently hinted at assassin aspects about Loki and how he may very well be a god killer as well, someone who Zeus claimed as regardless of being weaker than past opponents, somehow, some way, he always manages to come out on top. Therefore, it seems as though Loki has successfully baited Simo here and may actually be able to take the advantage in the next clash in the very next chapter, with it being highlighted clearly that Simo is taking major damage from his Reaper's Contract Valkyrie based ability. We see a direct showing of him turning his liver into the bullet as it transports throughout his entire body into his gun, with his Valkyrie taking major damage in the process as well, already cracking throughout her face and claiming loading is complete. So while Simo's attacks are incredibly overpowered and strong in combination with his 100% accuracy skill We'll always have the question in the back of our mind of how many bullets Simo will be able to unleash throughout this fight. Bro is going to run out of organs, and with him seemingly already coughing up blood every second now, it's very possible that this may be the shortest round we've ever gotten in Record of Ragnarok, and him literally unleashing the attack has the White Death going absolutely flying. But coming back to Loki and the possibilities in regards to him, he outright confirms here that the speed of the bullet is really no problem for a god like him. Facing it head on while claiming he can see the bullet, I won't let you escape again. And yes, while he was shocked by the bullet piercing through his door summoning, whatever you want to describe this as, it's likely bait for Loki's original purpose that was demonstrated in the previous chapter, wanting Simo to shoot so he'll know 100% this time where the White Death is located. As we see here, Simo uses 3 more of his summons to block the bullet or try to block the bullet, but based on the previous chapter and looking at the panels, there's more than 3 of them remaining from what I can tell, are now following Simo and are very aware of where he's located, something that may allow the Norse god to come up with a counter and maybe use some assassination type technique on the White Death, which could mean trouble for him in the next chapter. But of course, drop your predictions in regards to all that down in the comments. An aspect about Simo that I think is going to go absolutely hard in the anime version of this fight is him counting every time he unleashes a bullet, a main theme of his flashback, and pretty much connecting to his salvation, his representation when it comes to the horrors of war. And yes, his overpowered nature of him literally farming the Soviet soldiers, over 540 confirmed kills, but struggling mentally to the utmost degree every time he had to unleash one, something that likely is continuing to occur in his fight against Loki right now. Bro doesn't want to be here, but has to do it for the greater good of his fatherland Finland, and now for all of humanity. But something quite unique I noticed in regards to how Simo was taken out during the war, the pretty much random stray bullet that managed to hit him out of nowhere. The translation we have describes it as pretty much a joke from the gods. Does that maybe connect to Loki to some degree? But it is quite wild what happened to him, and I wonder if we're going to actually see his face throughout this round at some point, perhaps when Loki lands his first attack, where we may get a similar reveal to the likes of Hu Wang. But that factor does require us to bring up what version of Simo is actually fighting now. Is this Simo during the war before the injury? Or maybe somehow, some way, in a similar sense to Sasaki, after his supposed prime, he was able to get stronger and improve his skills to a degree, which could result in an interesting reveal as well. But all things considered, Record of Ragnarok round 11 has been absolutely peak so far. I have no real problems with how the round has begun and have been enjoying every chapter to the utmost degree. I know many people have complaints about the recent Record of Ragnarok fights, but the fast-paced nature of this is definitely cooking, and I cannot wait for the next chapters. But if you haven't already, make sure to check out all the other videos already uploaded going over the leaks, the Apocalypse of the Gods manga, and even a Record of Ragnarok game that's out as well. Subscribe for more, and shout out to these members, these absolute mad lads.